There are many things we'll be covering in today's session. What are the basic functions? How do you repertorize? How do you read the materia medica? Second thing, what we'll be learning is how to craft a search in SHS. Now, this has been a very interesting topic because many users have many times got stuck up in their software use because they have not been able to fully explore this part where how they can use the software or how they can use the search window basically. So we have this interesting concept of using 3 words, using 5 words, using same remedy, and so on and so forth. So we'll be exploring all those things today. The third thing what we'll cover in this today's session is using filters. Now, many a times we want to do a focused study about certain remedies, some family, or some word in the literature. It can be materia medica, it can be repertory. So, we'll try to use filters in those cases. We can filter and use materia medica or repertory or any specific book which we want to use. Now, the basic functions. So, let me take you to the software to help you understand the basic functions. So, I'll go to the repertory, that is the basic start, which I do, or I can go to the patient management and I can create a new patient. So if I create a new patient, I can create using any words of my choice, of course, with the patient's name and last name, and then what patient type is or gender and the other details. So over here, you can type, suppose I'm just typing that it is a test case for June 30, 2022. And if I would like to add all the details over here, I can add. And if I want to type some symptoms, I can type in the symptoms: pain in the back, aggravated by motion, better by lying down. And I can go on typing and this window will increase on its own and show a small scroll option. If the patient has taken any allopathic treatment, any homeopathic treatment, any Ayurvedic treatment, or any other school method treatment, we can definitely mention that as well over here. What is the diagnosis you think? If it is, just fibromyalgia, and if you have any more patient notes or any comments, any observations, like for example, it is like he's always fidgety or restless feet are there, right? And then there are some attachments related to patient reports which you can put. And once you prescribe any remedy or any potency you would like to mention, you can mention that. Now, once I click save, it is saved successfully. And now whatever details I'll be entering in this particular case. So you can see very well that the window is minimized on the left hand side bottom. And now I can go and I can explore the repertory. So how do I choose the rubrics which I want to select for my case? There are few methods. Like for example, first method would be that you know where the rubric is present, right? So you go in the basic repertory, which is reliable repertory. Now, before going into the repertory, you would like to add your favorite repertories at the top, right? So you can go to this user preference and you can go to repertory settings and you can add or remove whichever repertory you would like to make it as favorite or which is your mostly referred repertory. So I'm just typing the first few letters of the repertory and I'm just typing reliable repertory, complete repertory, Borix repertory, Fatak repertory, and I just click on save. The other options over here, you can see add repertory in system. This will be available when you add a new repertory in your system, or there are some new releases that happen and you have purchased those repertories in your system. For example, if I click on this, I see that there is a list of many repertories which are seen. If I have purchased it, I could add it. If I have not purchased it, it will show me an error. So now I just select these particular 4-5 repertories and I click on save. The software will reload a little bit for once because it needs to register the information, and then it shows that it was clicked without saving patients, or do you want to restore them again, and I click on yes. So it takes me back to that place. Now when I click on the repertory over here, the favorite repertories you can see have been added over here. From Boninghosen it got changed to Boric and Fata, and now I can go to a particular rubric. Suppose I know that I have to select some rubric from the mind section, right? So I click on mind, and then I can see that there are few rubrics as well as remedies seen. I can change those settings. So I can just, do few settings limited to this window, or I can do few settings limited to the entire repertory. So I prefer the latter because it would apply to the entire repertory, right? So I close this and I see a small icon over here, change view settings, right? Which is showing an eye. So you click on all remedies alphabetical. You want to see authors or don't want to see authors. You want to see cross reference. You want to see remedy count, and I would keep the remedies hidden. This helps me in making an unprejudiced selection for the rubrics, because it is important that you can be unprejudiced right from the beginning when you take your rubrics in your case. Once you click OK, those remedies won't be seen. Now, when you go to mind section again, you can see the settings have been applied, and these settings have also been applied to other chapters. Like for example, I went in face chapter. So you can see it is not showing any remedies. So this helps me in making an unprejudiced selection of rubrics without seeing those remedies, and I can make a judicious analysis. So there are a few ways I already shared about how you can record the rubrics. So first way is, the place where it is present. So you can just type the letters FEAR, fear alone is the rubric I'm searching for. So the repertory directly jumps on and shows you the rubric, which is fear. Okay, let me show you again. I go to the mind section, and you can see that on the bottom over here in the bottom, there is a place where words will appear and disappear. So this place is where your words, whichever you type, whether it is FEAR, will appear and disappear soon. The best part about using Synergy Homeopathic software, and especially the feature of locating the rubric when you know it, is that it is very fast. It is very efficient and flexible. You can jump into a rubric or jump out of the repertory very soon, quickly. You can click on reliable repertory and it takes you back to the first page. So in this way, you don't have to go to a particular box and type your words. There have been many people who have told us that XYZ software is giving a particular location where you need to go and type, and then we can easily go and type and wait, and then it shows the rubrics which we want to see. So my dear friends, the problem in this is that if you are typing those words, you will also have to remove those words. So the problem is because it wastes a lot of time. And with Synergy Homeopathic software, this is an integration of Mac Repertory Reference Works, which was earlier, having the same, features and the list of things which are mostly similar. So we always kept a good speed about for repertorizing the rubrics, for recording the rubrics, for analysis, and you can spend more time in understanding the patient rather than wasting your time in recording the rubrics. So that is the best part. So I just type fear and I type FEAR, and then I go in the sub rubric. I click on the right arrow on my keyboard and I go in the sub rubrics and I click on alone. So fear alone being, I can drag it to the clipboard or I can just press enter, right? So I click on fear alone being and I press enter on my keyboard and the rubric is recorded. So in this way, you can go to various chapters, you can record the rubric. Sometimes you will not know where the rubric is present, how the rubric is present. So you can make a search for those particular words in this search window. You will get it soon if it is not there in your programs. And you click on dog and press enter, which is for search, or you click on this search button also. And it will show you all the rubrics where the word dog is present in the rubric. And then you can take any rubric which you feel is apt for this case. Like for example, maybe it will be dreams of bitten by dog. So you can click and you can drag it to the clipboard, or else you can click and just enter. So it will be added to the clipboard. You can add more clipboards if you want a new clipboard by clicking on the clipboard option. You can see, or else you can remove the clipboards by doing a right click and delete. Do you want to delete? Yes. Delete and delete. So I'll remove all the clipboards and focus on only one clipboard which is there. So in this way you can, limit and see only the word dog in the entire repertory where it is present, and it makes your job easier. Now there are of cross references. So the cross references are showing you that there is different color, and there is a bracket of for these cross references. But what happens is that they are not displaying any remedies. So what you can do is you can just click on those cross references and the software will directly take you to those cross references wherever they are present. Like for example, I clicked on helplessness, feeling of, and this was having 62 remedies which we couldn't see over here. So it got displayed over here very easily by clicking on the cross reference in the first place, and then you have the rubric in front of you. And then there are various other cross references where you can go and look for those different rubrics. So I'll come to your question, Dr. Ramakrishna. I see that you have a question. I'll definitely come to it. Now, you can see that there are many cross references and you want to go back to the main page. So you can click on left arrow on your keyboard, which takes you one step back when you are in the repertory window. So you can see that if I click left arrow on my keyboard, it takes me back. Or else if you are somewhere deep down in a sub rubric, like for example, you can see repertory, reliable repertory, wild, abandon, wild. This is the rubric, right? Mind, abandon, wild. So you can directly click on repertory or you can click on mind. It will take you to the main page of mind chapter, or else if you want to go one step back, which is the main page of the repertory, you can do that as well. So in this way, the software is very versatile. You can jump in and out of a rubric very easily, quickly, and it makes your job easier. So I showed you two ways where you can record the rubric. One way is that manually you go type those words and the rubric is displayed. The other way is of making a search using the small search window which is given. So you can see the first way is so easy if it is a very deep down rubric. For example, it is anxiety, health, about others, right? So I just type anxiety, right arrow, I go inside, I type health, I go inside the sub-rubric and others for, you can see here, or relatives for. And then you can click and enter this, or in the clipboard, or you can click and just click on enter. You can drag it or click on enter. And then you can come to the main page by clicking on the main reliable repertory word which gets underlined. Now the third way of taking a rubric would be to use the search option. So using the search option is universal. All the time it is, the window is displayed. This is very convenient for someone who wants to refer a repertory and reference library together. Now suppose you want to make a search for something related to the physical symptom, right? Or it is, symmetrical eruptions. Now symmetrical eruptions, some of the repertory authors have given in skin chapter, some of the authors have given in generalities, some have also mentioned it in extremities if it is, relevant to that place. We don't know where it is present, so we can just make a search for the word symmetrical and I just click on enter. Now you can choose whether you want a repertory and reference library both, or it is just one, and you make a search and you can see that everywhere the word symmetrical is mentioned, it will be displayed on your screen. Whether it is mind, whether it is head, whether it is face, or whether it is extremities. You can see eruption, hand, symmetrical, alumina. And then you can see the same thing in the skin also and in generalities as well. So in this way, you can see that your word symmetrical has been searched in the repertory, not only in one repertory, but many other repertories as well, whichever are there in your library. And then you click on reference library and the word symmetrical is appearing over here too. There are 253 remedies giving the mention of symmetrical. So it makes your job, easier. Now you can go and make a search for whichever remedy you would like to search. This is in the search results, the reference library which shows you some remedies. Suppose you want to know if Nux vomica covers something. Well, actually not, but it has a mention of symmetrical in some book it has given. So it doesn't, stay relevant to the search. So in this way, you can, jump in and jump out, or maybe quickly refer a remedy and, take yourself back and then go back to your repertory sheet and see what else is needed for your addition over here. So now I clicked on the clipboard. I'll go again over that step, and you can see that I have a few rubrics taken, and I have on the left hand side, which is the clipboard, on the right hand side, the graph. Now you can easily see that there are a few remedies covering very less number actually. So we can go and take some more rubrics which are little broader. So I'll minimize this window and I can close this window, or I can go to the main page of the repertory. I can go to generalities, food and drinks, sweets, SWEETS, and you can see that there is a rubric sweet drinks and sweet dainties. So I want the second rubric. I go over there and I click on desire. Now I'm in the sub rubric, like the fourth stage sub rubric. So I can just click on reliable repertory and it jumps back at the main page. So it saves a lot of time of going one step back, and it helps you in doing many other things. All right, now we'll go further and we'll see how we can improvise further about these functions in your practice. how we can help you understand the software more. I'll remove this word as well. Now you can go to the clipboard. I was at the point where I was explaining about the clipboards, and I have to add a few more rubrics. So I can, move these windows. That is the another best part of the new update, which we'll be getting very soon. These updates over here have made the possibilities of, making the window flexible or movable, or you can, minimize it the way you want, the size you want, so that you can see only those parts which you want to see, or customize them according to your view, your resolution of your computer. So I'll take a few more rubrics which are important also. So I want to take pain shooting in the knees. So I go to pain in the extremities chapter, shooting and knees. And I've taken this as well. And then I want to take perspiration in the back, especially in the dorsal region. So I go and I take perspiration dorsal. And then I click to see the number of remedies. I can enlarge this window to make it look better. Now I can see that there are many remedies covering. I can limit them to a particular family. It is animal. If I click on the first icon, which is the animalia in the graph, it goes on to limit the entire graph to animals. Many of the users have asked us that why is calcarea mentioned in the animal group of remedies? The reason is pretty simple. It is, nature wise, it has also been seen that it has some animal elements as a doctrine of signature. That is why it is added. We can remove this filter and we can click on apply filter for plant categories. And then we can see pulse, nux, lyco, aconite, and you can see many of the plants are mentioned over here. And then the last thing which we can apply is apply filter of this mineral. So different minerals. Now there are many things, not just these 3 or 4 icons, but there are many things which you can do with the graphs, and that is the place which should interest the homeopath a lot. The first thing what you can do is, suppose you want to limit it to the whole Kali group. So you can see that there is a causticum remedy coming in the second place after calcarea, and you want to limit the whole graph to causticum or Kali group, okay, which is also an element of causticum. So you just take your cursor to causticum, do a right click, view remedies family, and now you can see there are many gradations or many sections where, I would say it is many groups where Kali has been mentioned or causticum has been mentioned, right? So you can take whichever group you would like to take based upon the method you are choosing or the author you refer. So suppose you want to refer this as a ferrum series or Kali, or mineral series as causticum, or maybe row 4 from Dr. Sankaran's method and limited to Kali, which is the potassium group. So you can see the whole graph is limited instantly to the Kali group of remedies. So you can remove this, and you can remove this filter and you can add another filter. Like for example, you want to uh, go and add about the carbon family, right? So, patient looks like very fat, flabby, sluggish. But over here, you don't see a carbon filter. So there are a few ways which you can add the filter. One way is you can go to the kingdom graphs over here, the icon below the search option, and you select minerals, and then you go to a particular mineral graph, for example, Janskorten, and now you can see carbon graph, and see, just click on C. So your whole graph is limited to the carbon remedy which is present in those elements which we see in the screen. We can remove this filter again, and the whole graph is displayed as it was earlier. The other way to use this limit is by clicking doing a right click on the remedy and view remedies family. And now you can see there are various groupings over here. So now you can, see and limit it to maybe Yams coltans, carbon, or Rajan mineral row to carbon. And now once you do that, your whole graph is limited to Kali, Calcarea, Kali, Natrum carb, Carboanimalis, Baryta carb, and so on and so forth. But just before I close down, I would like to show you some more filters, which is showing the strategies. You want to see most rubrics or some intensity or some small remedies or high grade remedy or some prominence remedies. You can click and you can select as default, or you can remove it from the default thing, right? So these are the advanced things, but for the basic beginner and the regular usage, your normal settings, which are most rubrics considering intensity, should suffice for 98 to 99% of cases, right? So let me close this and as this way as well. And then let me close the repertory window as well. Now we go to the search icon. So the search has been one of the most intriguing thing, I would say, because many of the users have got stuck up, or many of the homeopaths who are using the program since a long time have still not been able to understand how the search works, and what words should we use. So I am here to demonstrate a few things for you all. So when we go to the search over here, okay, the search is always present at the top, and you can see that there is an option to choose the repertory as well as reference library, right? So now you want to make a search for a particular symptom. Like for example, you have a case where there is lot of joint pain, and it started after the patient got wet. So in the repertory, normally we will go to particular chapter which is extremities, pain, joints, weight getting feet, aggravates, and we'll find that whole combination of symptom. But what you can do in the search over here is you can just choose the keywords of the case. So the keywords of the case are joints, number 3 on your keyboard. This is the number 3. Now I'll also explain why we use the number 3. And you put the word wet, and then again number 3 and getting, or maybe you can put also aggravates, and then an oblique and worse. So you're telling the program to make a search from the repertory or the reference library, the combination of joints, wet or aggravate from the entire literature. Now, many a times you will be wondering why we use the number 3, what is number 3, how it is number 3. So just I will explain this also right now. I'll open a fresh Word document for you all to see how it goes about. New share. So you are in this document and you see that you have mentioned a particular patient symptom in your search, but you want to study how this 3 word, 2 words, and same remedy and same section, same sentence works. So in our materia medica, in our keynote books and our literature, the major books, the bulk books of having Kent, Henneman, Herring, and these authors, they have mentioned long paragraphs of patient symptoms. So we can see that there is a mention about some remedy having pain in the joints when he got wet. Okay. Then somewhere else, it may also be mentioned that pain in the joints when the prover, okay, it's a proving book. Prover went for bathing, right? So you can see that between the words, now let me just increase the fonts also. All right. So between the words joint, I'll change the color as well, and the word wet, there are three small words, right? These three small words are the words which we need to ignore and get, yet the meaning should remain the same, which is joints, three, wet. Now, same is the case of this particular place where you can see pain in the joints when the prover went for bathing. Okay. Now, this also has joint word over here and also bathing word over here. Now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 words in between. So, joints, 5, bathing. Now you will tell that, or maybe you will question that there are so many books and how do we know where what is mentioned and how it is mentioned? So it's always a study which a homeopath should do. He should know how elaborate these books would be and a general concept of using, this should be a general concept of using 3 words or 5 words, because mostly this will cover the smaller words in between. And I would say that there is a mention somewhere in our reference works manual, the earlier program, that the words articles like, the or for or these small words are often ignored as a word, and the bigger words which are considered when we make a search are when, who, went, right? So mostly these smaller words are often ignored in considering as a word in the number in the symptom. But I would also have to check whether this concept has been relevant with the new reference library and the SHS which we have, or it is something new which we also consider. But the bottom line would be that you have to ignore these smaller words in between, and for doing so you can very easily find out some connectors, which is over here 5 and over here it is 3. So when you go to the program, so I'll take you back to the program, and you can see I have mentioned joints, wet, aggravates, or worse, and I'll make a search about it. I'll just click on enter on my keyboard, and now in the reference library as well as in the repertory I get a few options. Now it is quite zoomed in, so I'll just like to make a zoom out because I would like to display it little better appealing to my eyes and the entire window fitting my screen. And then what do I see? I see from complete repertory, it shows me extremities, pain, rheumatic joints, wet, damp aggravates, calcarea fos, colchicum, erigerum, and melilotus. And then in generalities, I see a bigger rubric, and in other complete repertories, I see many rubrics. And in reference library, I can see that there is a reverse repertory which I see, as well as there is a there is a symptom from various books I can see very easily. Rhododendron from Homeopathy 1940. Rhododendron is very like rust talks in symptoms must move worse in wet weather, but in joint cases, rhododendron is apt to wander from joint to joint and rust talks sticks to one locality. So your search words are placed in the center, as you can see, joints, wet, aggravates, and you can see very well that your search results are displayed the moment you just do a small click on your search results, and it is displayed in a small pop-up window. If the search window is if the result is very big, it happens in some cases, it will also show you a scroll button. Over here you can see that Calcarea Foss is full of rheumatism, and he has rheumatic pains and stiffness in the neck, lumbago, worse on motion, rheumatic pains in the upper arm, in the nates, in lower limbs, in joints, aggravation after getting wet, and in stormy weather. And there is a whole mention of the entire list of paragraph. The entire paragraph is mentioned, so you don't miss out on anything if there is a mention about the remedy before and after the words which you are searching. So in this way, this came from, I believe, Gladwin's Materia Medica world, right? And in this way, it makes very easier for you to understand how to make a search using the connectors, using the words which are keywords of the case, and not put the entire words. I've seen many people use lot of words over here, and then they get no query found, no result found. So it will be very kind of a limitation for us. So this is, just in brief, you have to try and experiment. There will be no, easy way, because it's always a art over here also, where you will need to put in some words which are keywords to the case. For example, yesterday I had this case which I just shared about joints getting wet. Now I just put also joints wet getting. So your result may slightly change. So it all depends on, you can see now there is no rubric about Calcarea Foss, but there is something about pulse, there is something about colchicum. You can see from various repertories it is coming. And you can go in the reference library, and then you can see something about Calcarea Foss again from Gladwin's Materia Medica, something about Meadorhinum from I think Pacific Coast Journal, and something from Nair's repertory for pulsatilla. So your words will change, the combination will keep on differing every time. But the closest you come to patient expression is where you should stop and give the prescription, because if you keep on searching, you will get lost in many searches and you will not be able to finalize on some remedy. So this is one of the techniques of repertorization, which will slowly be in the hands of every one of you, and that is what is the aim of synergy. That is the mission of synergy, to see homeopathy at its highest potential. And one more thing I want to share is that we have a interesting tagline to the new software, which is several potencies higher. And you can see how beautifully it is versatile, it is flexible, and it is helping you take yourself further. And it is potentized than our older version. So it is like another version or a better version of what we had so far, which was Mac Repertory, Reference Works, and Vital Quest. Now you can use the search in very many beautiful ways. Like in your results, you could see that there was Calcarea Falls, there was Pulsatilla, there was Colchicum. You want to study about those remedies, right? So I want to make a search for all the joint related symptoms of Pulsatilla. So I just put joint and pulse. Now I get a few auto suggestions because what we have kept in the program is a very beautiful thing, which is guiding you to use it intuitively and take you to the core of where you should be. So you want to make a search for joint related symptoms, type of pain, modalities for the remedy pulsatilla. You get suggestions that once you type the word pulse, you can see that you can choose pulsatilla as a remedy. Now, once you choose that, you can see very easily that the color of the pulsatilla has changed. It has a full stop as well. So the program has intuitively picked up your search query, which includes related, which includes searching something about joint and pulsatilla. And once you make a search from the repertory as well as the reference library, you get very easily all the rubrics where the word joint exists and the word pulsatile exists. You can go in extremities and there will be a list of symptoms because it's a very good rheumatic remedy. And you can go to different chapters and you can then switch over to the reference library as well. And you can see that whatever is mentioned about pulsatilla in the reference library, in the repertory, in the materia medicas, in the provings, in the case discussions, everywhere you get the result related to the word joint. So in this way, it becomes very beautiful to use, very, it's like a companion with you who picks the right literature for you and displays things for you. Now, in this way, you can also go and you can search for, something related to a certain family. Like I saw Dr. Vibhuti's question earlier, which was about particular symptom for a particular plant group or family, like fear of death in Labiata family or mammals. I have not done such an elaborate search, but this is the first time I'll be doing. So I'll put fear death, okay, and then I want to make a search in the mammals. Whether it is there or not, I'm not sure. So I'm just, experimenting in front of you, everyone. So you can see Mammalia as a family and Mammalia or mammals as a family. So I choose that and let's see what comes because it's a random thing which I'm doing. I've never experimented extensive broader results like broader words like this, and you can see very easily it shows you something. I hope it is relevant to what you were asking, Dr. Vibhuti. It shows you some rubrics having fear of death uh, from the mammals family, and also the reference library which shows fear of death in the entire mammal family, right? So I think this is a really beautiful thing. We did some new search today and we had it very well. Another way of making a search, but it's slightly complicated. I know we want easy things, but sometimes it's also good to know complicated thing also. For example, we want to do the same search but use a filter. Now this filter what we used was over there as a auto suggestion. Now what we will use is on the right hand side, you can see three lines are there which show like how you adjust your volume and brightness and those buttons. So you just click on it and you can select repertory or reference library. So this is a limitation over here. You will be able to choose only certain section of the search, which is reference library or repertory. And suppose you want to use from the reference library because that's always better. And then I click on kingdom and then I click on mammals. And then I do this apply step over here, which kind of limits the search. So fear of death, filter applied, which is mammals. And once I make a search in the reference library, in the repertory, I'll get everything because I've chosen reference library. So I go to reference library and the same result I got, but it is a few steps more than what we did earlier. So it's always better to do the earlier step. The recommendation to use this filter over here would be when you are also using some other searches over here. Like for example, if you are making a search for fear of death, and in the same remedy over here, you want to search for desire sweets. So the way I added it was, let me show you again. By pressing the space bar once, it gives me a small space. Second time gives me same sentence. Third time gives me same paragraph. Fourth time same section. And fifth time same remedy. If you don't understand or you are not able to reach to the particular option from your space bar, very rare circumstances, then you can use the options from the right hand side of the filter of the same window of search, and you can choose same remedy, and then I will put desire sweets, and then the filter is already applied, which is mammals. Let us see if we get this particular result or we don't get anything. I'm not sure. So there are 8 remedies which have this desire of sweet and fear of death. So in this way, you can explore possibilities of the software and uh, take your practice higher, several potencies higher. That's what I would say. Let's go to a few questions. Dr. Vimal Rach from Repertory Clipboard, we cannot go to Repertory from the selected rubric. I think there is an option, Dr. Vimal. So let me take you and close all the other windows. Let me take you to the clipboard. So if you see the clipboard, you do a right click. You want to know what are the 145 remedies. There are a few options. Why would anyone want to go to a repertory from the clipboard? So maybe you want to see the remedies. You want to see the cross references. You want to do an additional study. You want to see the rubrics before it or after it. So you can just do a right click and you can see the option view rubric in repertory. And if you click that, it displays the rubric in the repertory very easily, very conveniently you can find it. So one more question from Dr. Vibhuti. With this search, you could only view 3 remedies in reference works or reference library, nothing found in repertory. So I think you need to check whether the words were used exactly as we mentioned. So I don't remember the exact words, so I can choose the option history, search history. And I'll just take the window of Zoom besides, and you can see joins 3 wet aggravates or words. So if I click on it, I get the result from these complete repertories. So if these complete repertories are in your version, it should definitely display. Otherwise, it's always better to just type joints and wet and see what result you get. It can be aggravation, it can be amelioration as well, but it will be nearly closer and you can reach to the rubric. And also in the reference library, there will be many number of remedies. So this is the way you can reach. Dr. Mohinaz, how to see rubrics of one remedy of certain grades like grade 5 only or single remedy rubrics. This is an advanced thing. I'll definitely come to this right now in few minutes. And Dr. Piyush, how to add remedy and same sentence. Now, if you see, I'll take you back to the Word document so that I can show you how do we add. Wait a minute. All right. So how do we add those things, right? So we have same sentence, we have same para, same section, and same remedy. So if you press the space bar once, it will give you a space, right? If you press the space bar twice, it will take you to same sentence. Now, the next question, which is very obvious for anyone who is using the software or anyone who is trying to understand the software, why would anyone use same sentence? Why would anyone use same paragraph? Or rather, it would be when to use same sentence, same paragraph. So I think I have a good plan in my mind. The next time when we'll be doing a session, I'll share cases where 3 words, 5 words, 2 words also, maybe many cases I've used 2 words also, 3 words, 5 words, same sentence, same paragraph, same section, same remedy. Where have we used it or how do we use it? That's what we will learn, right? So if we press the space bar thrice, we come to same paragraph. And if we press the space bar 4 times, now the meaning of these words are very obvious. Same sentence would mean a same sentence, but where will you use it? How will you use it? That's a tricky part. And after much experimentation, I also came to a conclusion that they have their limitations, where we can use, how we can use, and we'll be sharing that in another session very beautifully using different cases. So you can see very easily how you can press the space bar once, it will give you a space. If you press it twice, it will give you same sentence. If you press thrice, same paragraph, 4 times, same section, and 5 times, same remedy. So let's go in the program and do it. It's very beautiful feature. So it is already showing one small 2 words, joints with. Now in the same remedy or in the same sentence, so I press the space bar once, it gives me one space, twice, same sentence, thrice, same paragraph, 4 times, same section, and 5 times, same remedy. So the mostly used connector between few symptoms. Now, let me show you. So if we have the word, say, if we have the symptoms, joints aggravated by weight, okay? And then we have another symptom, which is desire warm drinks, right? And then we have a third symptom, which is, say, chilliness, because he also got wet. So chilliness, cover, desire, right? So we want to combine or connect these symptoms. And the best way to connect these symptoms would be to use the same remedy connector. So we go to the program and we click on joints wet in the same remedy, desire, number 3, warm, and then in the same remedy, chilliness, covers, number 3, desire. So in this way, you are able to save your time of going to 3 different parts of the software or maybe the repertory and make a search over here and use it beautifully. So we'll, make a search in the repertory. It will not show because that logic is not applied everywhere in the repertory. So we'll try to make a search, and if we don't get a result like what has happened now, we can just remove or modify a few words. So many a times our new users or people who are trying to learn the software are stuck up, or they are not able to use this aspect well. So we can just click and remove a few words from here. Chilliness covers, or maybe chilliness uncover desire, uncover aggravates or worse, something like that. Try to use as minimum words as possible. And once you click on search, maybe you come to some specific searches or some result over here. You can see argentum calcarea, and yeah, so it's yes, it's nearly there. So you can see constant chilliness wants to be covered up, right? And then you can see that there is wandering desire. And clothing desires warm from Zanderwood's Complete Repertory 2019. So in this way, you'll get result from proving books, materia medica, case discussions, repertory, and whatever literature you have in your program. So let me go to another interesting feature, which is advanced search. Now in the repertory, you could see, if I go to the repertory, before going to the advanced search, you can see that you can change view settings, right? So if you go to view settings, and you can see there is an option to see grades of some remedies, and depending upon that, you want to add or remove and modify your view settings. So this is one way of seeing a particular grade of remedies. But if you want to study about about single remedy rubrics, right? So how do you study the single remedy rubrics? So you go to search remedies, and you can see that there is an option to go to the remedy over here and select the remedy from the options over here, same remedy. And I click on a remedy, say pulsatilla. So there are many pulsatilla remedies. They are the relatives or the nearest similar remedies. So you can just hover your cursor and click on the one which you want. For example, pulsatilla nigricans is what we want, and I click on apply. So if I want it from all the sections, I can click on all section, and I can click on remedies in rubric, which is 1. So this means that I'm telling the program to make a search for single remedy rubrics of pulsatilla, and from all the sections of the reliable repertory. So once I click search, I get the result of single remedy rubrics of pulsatilla from the mind, from the vertigo, from the head, from the eyes, from the vision, and so on and so forth. So in this way, you can go very easily to the single remedy rubrics. So let me show you again, if at all anyone has missed. I'll close this window. Advanced search and search remedies. And then this is how it will be displayed to you. You go to search remedy and kingdom, select it, and there is a small button at the top. If at times the button is not displayed, then you just have to go back, close this window, and zoom in or zoom out depending upon your resolution, because many times I also faced it, because the resolution of my PC was not ideal to what the software was there, and I had to adjust it. This is a one time setting. Once you do it, it's applicable for forever. So you go to advanced search remedies, and now you can click on a particular remedy. For example, we will search for Rostox. So it was very easy because I typed the abbreviation directly. But if you don't type the abbreviation, you can see that there are many rust compounds, the remedies of rust, which are also there. So in this way, you can click on rust talks, click on apply, match at least one. This applies when we have multiple remedies to search, and remedies in rubric should be one, which is over here. We select, and once we make a search, we get the result from various chapters of the repertory which we have as a primary repertory. So I will see a few chat where someone has mentioned, yes, Dr. Bhavish, rubrics of all the rubrics of single remedy. Now this is very important. I use it very frequently and I can show you very easily. So I'll close this window where it shows you single remedy rubrics, and I go to a particular chapter which is suppose mind, and then you can see the view settings, and besides the view settings you can see the filter. Once I click on the filter, it shows me three options. One is to use the remedy or any specific author or any specific kingdom. So you can choose remedy and you can select pulsatilla, click on it or check mark it, click on apply. Now the whole graph or rather the whole repertory is limited to pulsatilla and all the other remedies are hidden. So if we want to see what marks the remedies are, because I have kept the remedies hidden over here, I'll need to change to all remedies alphabetical option from the repertory mind section. And now you can see it very easily. Okay, so how can we search all remedies of sarcodes in the list? How can we search all rubrics of nosodes together? And I think it's a similar way. How can we do three repertories in three windows? So that is possible. When we see all rubrics of all the repertories of that remedy. So I think we can do it. I'll show you how we can do it. So the first thing what you shared about nosodes sarcode, the filter automatically is not available in the kingdom section. We have worked on it and maybe the update this time or maybe the next update should have it. But till then you can definitely go and click on certain sarcode or nosode which you would like to limit to, and then you can see the remedies of that grouping or that remedy rather over here. So this way you can go, but we are definitely working on having a filter for the nosodes over here. So it's still not there. I remember that this was a query by many of the homeopaths, and we'll have it soon. Now you wanted to also open many repertories together. So you can right click on a particular repertory here, and you can click on open in new window. So in this way, you can toggle between multiple repertories, just like how you use a browser, different tabs in the browser. And also one more thing you wanted was how do we see the rubrics of that particular remedy from different repertories. So I think what we need to do is we can, I think, limit over here to a particular remedy. For example, we are limiting to pulsatilla, and we also would like to display all the remedies alphabetically. So now I think whenever you go in any chapter, you will see the remedy pulsatilla. from the reliable repertory. Let me see if the filter has also applied to the different repertory. Yes, it has applied. So in this way, you can see all the rubrics of pulsatilla from different repertories which you have opened up as like a tab. So I'm just experimenting, just like I did a few minutes ago for a particular. So what I did was interesting. Just if I get the right result, which Dr. Bhavish wants, I think we are on target. So it's possible. So how do we do it? So what did I do was I go to the search option and I have the option of search in repertory and reference library. I remove the reference library option. I uncheck it and I keep the repertory checked, and I click on the search bar and I type the word pulse, which is for pulsatilla. So pulsatilla as a remedy, and now I'm making a search. So ideally, logically, I'm making a search for the remedy pulsatilla, and I'm making a search for it from the entire repertory. So once I search and I press enter or I click on the search option, it displays all the rubrics of pulsatilla from the different repertories, from the different chapters of the different repertories. You can see this very easily in your screen as a display. If I close this, I can go to Boric, and you can see in Boric also I can see this. I can see this also in various complete repertory that I have. For example, over here I opened Fatak repertory, also it has it. So VQ demo case, yes. So I have an interesting case. I always share in our demonstrations wherever we go. So I'll just open this PowerPoint, which has a short case of. So I had this case of fibroid where this lady was having a lot of fibroids, like 3-4 fibroids in the uterus, small. I don't remember the size right now, but the case was very important. The way she described her mind symptoms was very important. She also had a headache. She had heavy bleeding. She had a headache, and which was better by a lot of analgesics and painkillers which she used to take. Uh, she shared about some physical symptoms which were not important for me right now because I'm focusing on the Vital Quest. In the mind state, she expressed many things, of which there was a lot of fright since childhood. She told me that someone is coming from someone, and a lot of superstitious feelings she had. So I asked her, how did you develop these superstitious feelings? Where and since when do you have this fright? And she told me that there was an aunt whom she was very close, her bhua. And since the time she passed away, she couldn't forget her, as if the ground below her feet was swept away. It happened out of the blue, achanak, or maybe it's in English word. In English, we say it's suddenly. And she couldn't believe how could this happen to her. She was so young, and this lady was, now she's like 35 or 36, but earlier she was in her mid 20s, and she told that she was totally numb, and she had to control her emotions for many weeks, and there was a lot of weakness, and she became very superstitious. So what we do is, you can pick up these words, you just copy this case, and I'll take you to the software where we have Vital Quest module. So I go to this program over here. I click on text approach, and you can see it's mentioned over here that it has a patient's history and physician's observation. You can type in all those things over here, I just paste over here whatever were her mind symptoms. And there are some interesting words which the program has selected, which is suddenly, control, and numb. And once I click on the sensation analysis, it shows me that the plants have 50% presentation of these words. Miasmatic presentation would be 36% and animal kingdom would have 14% presentation. If I just click on plants, you can see I click on plants and it will show me which kingdoms are there. You can see, yes, here it shows you. Since I'm not using it too frequently, I may forget a few features over here and there, but it shows me that Umbelliferae has 26% representation of these words. Labiate, Papaveracea, Solanaceae, Compositae, Loganaceae, and Rosaceae. So in this way, you can, study various kingdoms and various new things using this interesting feature of Vital Quest module. And there will be many more such modules we'll be having in future, which will help you understand how these stalwarts practice in their clinics, in their practice, and how they transform these patients from an ill person to a healthy being. So in this way, you can definitely see that it gives you quick result, and it takes you from something which patient expressed in her history to something which is expressed similarly in sensation method and sensation approaches. So I believe this gives a fair idea of how the Vital Quest module works, and I think we are nearing the end of our session now. Thank you all for your presence, and wish to see you all again very soon. I hope next time we'll just focus on how do we make a search, and how we use the different search options using one word, two word, three word, five word, and same section, paragraph, remedy, and so on and so forth, using many different cases. So thank you all and good day, and see you all soon.